Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, Big Hawk, thinking right out here in the lab. What I do for you. I got a nice little lesson for you today. I've been waiting for a while to put this together, so I think I got it. So let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message, message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune and receiving them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life, through mental and spiritual discipline daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, and that's what I'm on, is to get all right thinkers to know themselves. That's the goal that I'm on, the mission that you should be on, the mission that I'm on, excuse me, and the goal that you should have to know thyself. That's what I do and I do for you. Let's do this. The question, do you know you? Is rhetorical. If you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in to me. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. That's okay. I can wake them up. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'm in the book again. I got some more good stuff in here. We're going to go down the line. You see right there on this page here? That's called the doo-wop. We're about to talk about that, but we're gonna get involved with the title. Excuse me, right thinkers. Let's talk about. It's really about net. Oh, I did that already. Excuse me. No. Oh, excuse me. More detailed description of what the Anuian theurgy, aka the Tree of Life, or the Cosmic Mythograph, aka Planes of Existence. And this is all mental. This is all upper level stuff, all right? So let's talk about this. There's more detail. First of all, you should begin to notice that Kemetic iconographs is very balanced. What do you mean by that? Very structured and very orderly. Everything lines up. Watch this. And it's depictions of males and females. Where there's a female, there's going to be a male. Where there's a male, there's going to be a female. Moving on to concept. And if you think either one of y'all are better than the other, try producing without the other. So equal distribution. That's what Maya represents. Equal opposites. We did that already. Let's go. So here we go. You recognize that in the Commission concepts. That should be understood. The Anuian cosmic Ano mythograph, cosmic Ano mythograph has what? Has a certain balance between the male divinities and the female divinities, which what? Reflect and complement each other. Again, equal. This is due to what? The recognition that there must be what? Balance between the male and the female elements also in order to what? Have a proper equilibrium and stability, not only in the creation of the universe, but also in what? The promotion of beneficial culture and positive spiritual evolution. Getting better, knowing who you are. And this balance was what? Also reflected in the secular affairs of ancient Egyptian life in government, business, etc., wherein men and women were what? Accorded equal legal rights. None was better than the other. That changed a long period of time, but no, At one time, we were equal. We still are in nature's eyes, but man decided, oh, it's a man's world. I don't subscribe to that. But this is why I learned that, so I don't subscribe to it's a man's world nonsense. Okay, that's just ego at its best. Moving on. The idea, the tree of life, is teaching of the Anuian theurgy as depicted in the Anuian tree of life, Cosmiconomythograph, and is based on what? The creation myth. You hear that? The creation myth of Anu. Anu and the pyramid text of the Anuian theurgy. Anuian theurgy is what? One of the main theurgies of the Kemetic religion of Netarianism. Netarianism is the theurgy of Neter, the study and the understanding. All of Kemetic divinities are called Neteru, plural. Neter, one, singular. That's where everything starts from, okay? Now you got the Neteru, which is plural. Watch this now. Understand, here's the part that a lot of people maybe misunderstanding. These are all aspects of divinity, of the one divine self. Again, Neter, singular. The one divine self differentiates what? Itself. It takes off itself, watch this, out of the primeval, undifferentiated matter, which we call the noon. It creates aspects or forms of itself that carry out several different tasks of what? Functions in order to sustain the creation. These Neteru, aka God and goddesses, are what? And in the realm of the realms are the Ptah, the Pet, the Duat, and the Noon. I'm going from low to high. Low being the more dense. I'm going to break that down for you when I get to the next page. But this is how it goes. Ptah, Pet, Duat, the Noon. Okay? Noon being the absolute. The duat being the causal plane, the more subtle plane of creation, center of consciousness. Remember, we're all up here now, and individuality. Then the pet, the astral plane, subtle plane of creation, where what? Where the mind operates with what? Its ideas, thoughts, imagination, and dreams with the subtle sense, meaning not the physical, but the mental. Now you get down to the ta, where we are, the physical plane, the most dense plane of creation, where what? Living beings experience physical existence with the physical body. That's us. So we live on the top. We want to raise ourselves up to the pet, to go to the duat, and we're going to end up where? In the noon. But let me break it down for you. I'm over here now. Watch this. Where we at? Down here. Down. Here we will watch this. Now we will continue the discourse of the tree of life with the duat realm. We started with the duat and move forward through the cosmic mythograph of the tree of life. This is where we are right here. It's called the duat. You see but a few things in the duat. See the one man over there, that's Tahuti. You see Ra, the three phases in the middle, and then you're gonna see two ladies. One is Het Haru and the other one is Maya. Break that down for you, okay? We are in the duat right now. Now, the duat means what? The netherworld. Remember that all of the following divinities, what? Arise from the original non-dual self, God, that what emerges from the homogeneous non-dual, homo means he got both male and female aspects, non-dual primal ocean. The most important duat divinities are who? First of all, remember Tahuti? He represents intellect, the mind of God. And you got the goddess, my favorite, Maya. And Haru's counterpart, you don't hear much about her, but she's the lady of the house, Haru, but she made the house meaning physical, meaning not the physical, but the mental aspect where she's the physical, she's the life force in the female form. We got Haru, which is the male, Haru, the female force. Watch this. And they got children, he got 4 sons. That's another lesson. But watch this. They are symbolic. Watch this. Tahuti represents, again, intellect. Mayat represents, now she got a few things. She represents order and balance, reciprocity, righteousness, all the things that's divine. But right now, we're just going to use her in the context of primarily just what? Order. She keeps order. Specifically, what? The order of the what? Disordered, undifferentiated, primeval matter. She brought chaos. She brought order to chaos. The primeval matter was considered, the noon was considered chaos. She brought order. That was her job. That's what she got. Then you got disorder is what? Not necessarily a bad thing, because remember, it's potential, just unmanifested. It just means that it does not have any particular form. This is all mean. That's all it means. Now, you should not give it a negative connotation when we are engaging in the philosophical study of the teachings. Watch this. Through form and egoistic perceptive disorder or chaos can be troubling in some cases. Again, so watch this. So in our context, it refers to the unformed matter again. So Mayat gives it form. Hetaru is what? The energy, again, the life force that sustains or that holds that form together. Mayat is the order itself. Now we will look at what? The pet. The pet is the next part of the realm, the next realm, where we're going to have the realm may be likened to what? The concept of causality. Pet means what? Heavenly. Okay? In the pet realm, we have space, which is air or ether, which we call shu. Identity, with the air that we breathe, we call it shu. We have Geb, which is what? The earth. We walk on Geb. Okay? We're always in God's grace. The earth that we walk on is God. We have Tefnut, which is what? Water. And when it's cold, it becomes snow. Then you have Nut, which is the heavens. Notice that we are moving what? Gradually from the subtlest to from the subtlest essence of the substratum, meaning things that keep creation. We talk about intellect, talk about order. We're going through the phases, showing you how it all lays out. And then coming down to what? The more gross principles, aka elements of creation. This is what the sages have broken down to creation into what? This is what creation is made up of. These principles we call nature. Now we will look at the Thai realm. What's the Thai realm? That's our physical realm right here. Thai means earthly. Pet, heavenly. Dua, netherworld. Noon, absolute. Those all different realms that God puts himself into. And even to the physical man, watch this, which is the Thai means earthly, worldly. In other words, physical. In the Thai realm, we have the divinities that go to what? Compose our personalities. Here we go, of human beings and even animals. Most importantly, Asar. Asar is what? The eternal soul. He is God in physical form for the first time. Remember, he's elements, the first five elemental. We just went through that. So the six carbon-based human beings, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. There you go, the 3 sixes. So spare me that. Oh, it's the mark of the beast nonsense. Okay? Watch this. So we know that Asar is the eternal soul. His counterpart, wife, sister, Aset is what? Wisdom. That means experience, intuition. That little voice in your head, that's her. She's in you. She's part of you. You need to recognize her and use her to your benefit. Okay? That's the next step. Now you got the one that everybody loves. My boy, Set. Set is your ego. And understand this, modern times they call it the id. Why? Because it's your identity. Set is who you identify with. And that's edging God out. Why? Because it's singular by itself. That's human by itself. The ego thinks it's by itself. Hence, ego, the acronym edging God out. I is singular by itself. Don't mean nothing. Then you got Neptet. Is what? She represents mortality. Okay? Knowing physical world. We're born here, we're going to die. That means the body has a limited time here on earth, not our spirit, just the physical body. She represents that aspect. Okay, then you got Haru-Ur. He is the king of the earth, master of the earth, and encompassing these male and female principles are you got Nekhotep and Ayuseti, which are the most primeval opposites. One represents go back. Haru-Ur. That's who you will be once you become spiritually enlightened. You reach Niha, you become anointed. Why? You and God become one, and you have mastered yourself while in the physical form. Sounds familiar? That other God, Jesus Christ, same concept. But you can manifest that by learning and perfecting and emulating the aspects of your character, master them, and you will become master of earth. Self-mastery. Know thyself. That's the goal for all right there. Because to do just that, that's what you got to do. It's laid out for you. Watch this. Now, where we at down here? We going then you got these two females, Nekhotep and Ayuseti, which are the most primal. Watch this, if you will. They arise out of Ra directly also. So watch this. They are the principles. Again, these are principles of rest and movement. Excuse me. Again, like the yin and the yang. You got rest, you got to have movement. You got movement, you got to have rest. Balance. Watch this. Now, respectively, Nekhotep and Ayuseti may be thought of as what? Fundamental, fundanational divinities, meaning they don't move. They stationary. They're not going to, they, watch this, together, they with Ra, they orchestrate what they call the triangle, aka a pyramid, which what encompass the matrix of creation. They on the outside and the front. I got a picture of that coming up for you. Okay. This is what we now we're in the tie. This is us, the physical part, the elements, the first five, and this is the triangle that tie Ra, Aseti, excuse me, Hepto, and Aseti forms the triangle also. But this is all conceptual, this is all mental, this is all psycho-spiritual, understanding how your body operates just like nature in some areas. So watch this. Now, so they seem to what? Appear at the bottom, but they're not. They Cosmiconomythograph, instead of it being in the Dua realm, along with Tahuti, Maya, and Hatu. But in reality, what are? They are not at the bottom. They, including Ra, are what? Surrounding the creation as if the world is inside a sphere. In a sphere, there is what? No top and no bottom. They encompass creation, but we must also keep in mind that outside of the sphere of creation, they call it universe, there is no spirit. Hence the matrix. Once you leave the encompassing matrix of what we are, there is no spirit. So there's no life. There's nothing. That's the concept. And watch this. Thus, the spirit is within and without. However, in these three-dimensional models, when the lines are connected between them, their trinity encompasses what? The obelisk and the creative principle contained in it, meaning that it governs them. The goddess Nekhotep and Ayuseti are important aspects of the Anuian theology. Why? Because they are closely associated with Ra. Together with Ra, they form an important trinity, which circumscribes, again, that dot in the middle, that's what he did. He got creation, and they circumscribe, they're on the outside, okay? They circumscribe the nature of creation. Creation is endangered by what? The primeval force of what? Spirit. The divine fire of who? The supreme being, starting with that thing up in the sky, Ra. The Heka. Now, we know that the sun is a sign of Ra. It don't do nothing but shine and give off energy. That's all it does. And gold across. That's what it does. So it ain't God per se, but you can give it worship and the props. Why? Because without it, we don't exist. So they understood that. So they understand that Ra through what? Heka, word, sound of power. Time and space are what? Actually relative aspects that what come into existence through what? The notion of objects in space. Essentially, therefore, creation, listen, consists of what? The ever dynamic fire of the spirit which operates through what? Energy. Sekhem, serpent power in us, which sustains what? Ankh, aka life. Now, the elements and the relative motion of objects within the matrix, watch this, of creation, however, the spirit underlies all and therefore it can move nowhere since it is what? Everywhere. Objects in creation move in and through the spirit and are rooted, dependent on what? Spirit for their existence. Again, God, the spirit is in everything. Watch this. Now, if objects were to be completely motionless, meaning that Hotep would not happen. Why? In space, there would be no existence. Why? For example, all hearts, no movement would be still, no stars, completely motionless in space would be what? Stars would burn, no heat would be produced, and no life could exist. Why? Because no metabolic functions could occur. So you need motion and rest. That's the concept. And everything is in motion. If objects were to be what? Perpetual motion, there would also be what? No creation. Why? Because the motion itself would become a constant. That would allow no awareness of existence and no replenishment, reorganization, or recreation of the elements. Foodstuffs or fuels would be possible. All would be used up and all would what? Cease to exist. Awareness is a factor of relative motion. And it's it is an action that the mind performs. Again, we all up here. If this action were to cease, the world would also cease to exist from what? The perspective of that mind that has ceased to operate or to move. Dead. Nothing. That's why. So now we're over here. The task of creation, watch this, is to balance, wow, okay, the principles of Nephotep and Iuseti, Iuseti, something like that. Iusaasety. Now, in order to bring it about, watch this, the universe in which consciousness can perceive it, therefore, relatively speaking, there is a motion and emotionless. From an absolute perspective, however, there is no motion, since in reality, no creation have actually occurred. So, if one were to discover existence beyond the apparent creation, the motion of relative reality, one would what? Discover the absolute and transcendental nature of existence. This idea will be expanded later. I got that covered. Now, in ordinary human life, there is more motion than motionlessness. Okay? From the time a person gets up in the morning until they go back to bed, they are most part motion, talking, thinking, desiring, yearning, imagining, remembering, hoping, etc. Life, daily life. Then at the time of sleep, what happens? They dream, which is another form of the same which occurs when they are awake. But for a short time, the mind, again, this is upstairs, may experience the dreamless sleep or state of which offers what? A respite from what? The constant movement. So it gets to take a break, so to speak. The constant movement of the mind, but watch this. But that is not enough to what? Allow the mind to perceive higher consciousness, traditional, transcendental nature of existence, just enough to what? Replenish the mind. 8 hours of sleep, whatever, but the mind, watch this, so allows the personality to continue to exist as in what? Ignorant being. The task of a follower of right thinking philosophy or the Netherrean religion and the practitioner of Netherrean metaphysics is what? Is to find that place wherein there is motionlessness and then to discover that God is to be what? Perceived. God is to be perceived and then what? Experienced. God is to be perceived and then experienced through what? Experience there since God exists where? In the world of motion as well as out of it where there is no motion. If the human being were to discover that aspect of his or her consciousness existing in that state of motionlessness of the mind, aka the meditative state, the highest level, watch this, they would also discover, you ready for this? Their own spirit essence outside of what? Time and space, and thereby also their transcendental essential nature beyond what? Mortal and finite human personality, which is the body, the mind, and the senses. However, existing as an ego personality when you're ignorant of this concept and you perceiving with what? Your mind and your senses, which are perpetual motion, it prevents a human being from what? Perceiving the transcendental aspect of reality. So, a discipline of ritual practice daily, purification, meditation, and a philosophical introspection is enjoined to what? Enable the mind, again, we up here to do what? Slow down and even temporarily what? Stop if need be in order to discover the essential nature of the self, aka the spirit that's within you. I'm wrapping it up. I'm taking it home. One last, and this is what it looks like. Okay. This is what the tree of life looked at. You see on the side where it says the noon, then the anu. We just did the dua, we did the pet, and we did the tie. Okay. We just went through the cycles of different areas of existence. Now let me wrap it up. These two places, the physical realm and the astral realm. Physical here, astral is up here. When you lay down and go to sleep, you go to the astral realm. That's the astral realm because it's all up here. We live in the physical. When we wake, we moving and grooving. Breaking all that down. Hope you understand that. Okay, let me take it home. Let me wrap this up. Now, you got two realms, the spirit, the physical, and the astral. In the same space, but watch this, in different dimensions. Again, this program of discovery is accomplished how? Through worship of who? The divinities. By doing what? Learning about them. This is my favorite part. Meditating upon them with the idea of what? Identifying with them, embodying what? Their characteristics, and manifesting and emulating them. And finally, what? You'll be master their principles and thereby rendering those principles effective within yourself. Beginning at the bottom, which we did, the personality discovers what? Each principle on the tree in a particular order, and eventually the human personality, what? Which was impelled by ignorance, what happened? Becomes void, and the aspirant takes up his or her rightful place in the holy war, and was as one with who? The Netta. Master of the gods and goddess, which is the aspect of yourself, your personality, the characters that you possess, that when you master them, what'll happen? Then, in such an advance, you will become an advanced right thinker or aspirant, and the movements of the world, watch this, as it cease, and the rest of the spirit, which move nowhere. Why? You become the ever-present one in reality. Hence, you know thyself. And you will not be moved, you will not be swayed, bamboozled, or led astray. Now, wrapping it up. In closing, you need to know this. This is the favorite part. You should be thinking of these icons, the gods and goddesses, as what? Physical principles as well as concepts Why? Because they will operate through your physical creation, through you. And everything has their aspects in what? Some measure. If you delve deeply into all matter, the Anuian theurgy is important. Why? Because it is the oldest theurgy of Kemet, and it gives rise to what? All other theurgies of ancient Egypt. All other theurgies have what? A basis of Anuian theurgy in them, as you demonstrated that all of the divinities in the variant Kemetic theurgies are what? Really related to each other in one form or another. And you should understand the fundamental theory of what? Right thinking philosophy, aka Netarianism, in this way. And that will actually what? Simplify and clear up a lot of issues or confusions related to the what? So-called polytheism of ancient Kemetic religion and of African religion in general. And this will conclude the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. I'm glad to get it out my way now. I can move on. Thank you.